Good evening and welcome to the annual organizational meeting of the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, April 1, and as is required by state law, we have an annual organizational meeting to swear in both elected officials and appointees and to run through a series of policy and procedure resolutions that establish the guidelines for the operation of the Resolve the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following persons to the positions listed below for terms in accordance with the village law. Village Treasurer Mary Schwartz, a term through April 5, 2021. Deputy Village Clerk Noreen Regan, a term through April 6, 2020. Deputy Village Treasurer Robin Rizzo, term through April 6, 2020. Associate Village Justice Virginia Collins Esquire, term through April 6, 2020. Prosecutor George Pappas Esquire, term through April 6, 2020. And Assessor Lloyd Taish, through April 26, 2020. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Welcome all. Then I'll head to the podium to swear in our recently elected Village Justice John Curley, and then following that, our just reappointed Associate Justice Gigi Jones. So, firstly, congratulations, John. Surprisingly large number of people turned out in an uncontested election, which I think is an indication of the affection, support, and respect they have for you here in the Village of Pleasantville. So if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, John Curley.
I, John Curley.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Code of the Village of Pleasantville.
And the Code of the Village of Pleasantville.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
And I will faithfully discharge.
The duties of Village Justice.
The duties of Village Justice.
For the Village of Pleasantville.
For the Village of Pleasantville.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate it. Virginia Collins, enter and sign in, please.
Sign in later.
Right. Welcome.
Thank you.
Delighted to have you back.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Virginia Collins,
I, Virginia Collins,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Code of the Village of Pleasantville,
and the Code of the Village of Pleasantville,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Associate Village Justice
the duties of Associate Village Justice
for the Village of Pleasantville
for the Village of Pleasantville
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you, and welcome back for yet another term.
You gotta sign the book.
Some organization nights we have a longer series of people being sworn in. This year, Judge Curley was the only elected office that was up this year. I'll read resolution number 69, mayoral appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointments of the following persons to various boards, commissions, and committees. Architectural Review Board, Jane Schwedfager, 3-year term to end April 4, 2022. Planning Commission, David Keller, Scott Blaisdell, and Anjali Sautoff, all 3-year terms to end April 4, 2022. Zoning Board, Erica Krieger, a 5-year term to end April 1, 2024. Ethics Board, John Nona, a 1-year term to end April 6, 2020. Bernard Gordon, a 2-year term to end April 5, 2021. Eric Christensen, a 3-year term to end April 4, 2022. Conservation Advisory Council, Libby Brenneschultz, Jennifer Frawley, Helen Murer, Eric Goralski, all 2-year terms to end April 5, 2021. Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Geraldine Stapleton, Lori Shea, Dan Meritz, and Armand D'Angelo, all 3-year terms to end April 4, 2022. Beautification Committee, Kathy Dinkle, Marion Coughlin, Tanya Cunningham, Elizabeth Ward, Pat January, Marilyn Ross, Franz Corbella, Marlene Canopy, and Virginia Pancati, all one-year terms to end April 6, 2020. Recycling Committee, Danielle Barry Gass, Chair, Edwin Kuo, Co-Chair, Andrea Garbarini, Pat January, Helen Muir, Virginia Pancati, Ryan Landberg, Sharon F. Rutic, Linda Shankman Curtis, Bridget Egan, Leslie Schulte, Pradeep Bowie, Kim Turner, Dan Turner, and Francesca Bonavita Lawler, all one-year terms to end April 6, 2020. Climate Smart Task Force, Edwin Kuo, Ryan Lamberg, Helen Muir, Teresa Conway, Ben Sarabin, Anjali Sautoff, Danielle Shea, and Sharon Evrutik, all one-year terms ending April 6, 2020. And the Pedestrian Safety Committee, Carrie Roberts, Adrienne Knott, Mary Breen Muller, Tom Woods, Jim McDonald, and Samantha Hoover, all one-year terms to end April 6, 2020. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Steve, number 70.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees shall hold their regular, excuse me, try that again, shall hold their regular meeting at 8 p.m. on the second and fourth Monday of each month, except April, when the organizational meeting shall be the first Monday and shall convene at 7 p.m. Work sessions shall commence at 7 p.m. on the second and fourth Monday of each month from May through February, then every Monday at 7 p.m. during the months of March and April. When any such meeting date falls on a legal holiday, the meeting date shall be amended by the Board of Trustees. All meetings of the Board of Trustees will take place at Village Hall, 80 Wheeler Avenue, second floor, unless otherwise noticed.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Joe, 71.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby sets the following procedure for calling a special meeting of the Board of Trustees. A special meeting can be called by either the mayor or at least two trustees acting together. The Board of Trustees will be contacted by telephone, text, fax, or email. In the event the special meeting is to be called, all attempts will be made to contact the news media and the public as soon as practical after calling for the special meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 72, David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby designates the Journal News and the Examiner as the official newspapers for the Village of Pleasantville.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 73, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following authorized signatories for financial transactions at all depositories. Peter Scher, Mayor, Mary Schwartz, Treasurer, Robin Rizzo, Deputy Treasurer.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 74, Joe.
Designation of bank depositories for village funds. Resolved that the Bank of New York, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, Sterling National Bank, and NY Class B and the same are hereby designated as depositories for all funds of the Village of Pleasantville, and it's hereby directed that all funds of the Village of Pleasantville shall be deposited in said banks unless otherwise specifically authorized. And be it further resolved that no funds shall be paid by the treasurer or the Village of Pleasantville except pursuant to a judgment or order or an audit, an allowance by the Board of Trustees as required by law, and an order designating such funds signed by the mayor or the deputy mayor and countersigned by the treasurer or in his or her absence the deputy treasurer. And be it further resolved that all checks or drafts or instruments for the withdrawal of money of the village from said depositories shall be signed by the treasurer.
You probably can say, and as
As
further
is
stated in the
further set
record.
forth in the
Yeah.
record.
So we have a lot of that tonight. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 75, David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to approve in-state conferences in accordance with the General Municipal Law, Section 77B, and further resolved that all out-of-state conferences shall be approved by resolution of the Board of Trustees.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 76, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby sets the standard business mileage rate for transportation expenses for village employees using their personal vehicle for village business as per the rate guidelines set forth by the Internal Revenue Service.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 77, Joe.
Whereas the Board of Trustees has determined to authorize payment in advance of audit of claims for public utility services, postage, credit card merchant fees, freight, and express charges, and whereas all such claims shall be presented at the next regular meeting for audit, and whereas the claimant and officer incurring or approving the same shall be jointly and severally liable for any amount disallowed by the Board of Trustees. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes payment in advance of audit of claims for public utility services, postage, credit card merchant fees, and freights and express charges, and all such claims shall be presented at the next regular meeting for audit by the Board of Trustees.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 78, David.
Resolved, the village treasurer is hereby authorized to implement the Village of Pleasantville's investment policy, which is attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 79, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the Village of Pleasantville's purchasing policy, also attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Joe, 80.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the Village of Pleasantville's fiscal policy, also copy attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. We are just
We're
ripping
blowing
through these. We are
through
rolling.
this.
81,
Keep
David.
going.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the Village of Pleasantville's credit card policy, which is attached.
Is
Second.
there- All in favor? Aye,
I think
motion
Alex
approved.
Trebek would disallow that one.
Exactly. 82,
Resolved that the
Joe.
Board of Trustees hereby adopts the attached Village of Pleasantville social media policy.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 83, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the Village of Pleasantville's equal employment opportunity policies and procedures as are attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 84, David.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby establishes employee eligibility for health insurance as required by the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act as follows. Standard measurement period will run from December 1st through next year's November 30th, 12 months. This is an annual time frame and will occur every year. Standard administrative period will run from the end of the standard measurement period of November 30th through December 31st. This is an annual time frame and will occur every year. Standard stability period will run for a 12-month period from January 1st until December 31st. This is an annual time frame and will occur every year.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 85.
So 85 looks strangely formatted on my screen. Does the copy repeat, or is each section of that copy to be read?
Looks fine on my screen.
Does?
Well,
I got
yeah,
the same
it
thing
it
too.
it repeats itself. You don't have to repeat it.
It's just this first
Oh,
group of
right.
whereas,
Much
Yes.
right?
below.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Whereas the New York State Retirement System requires that elected and appointed officials who are members of the New York State Retirement System report their time, and whereas the New York State Retirement System requires that we set a standard workday for elected and appointed officials, and whereas the New York State Retirement System requires that these hours be reported based on a timekeeping system, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby establishes the following standard workday for the following employees, and will report these days' work to the New York State and local employees' retirement system based on a timekeeping system or record of activities maintained and submitted to the village clerk by the following employees as is further described in the record.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved.
How come it's only Peter and Joe on here?
You can join the system if you want. I'm in
I thought
hiatus
didn't I
because I've
submit
never
that,
bothered with the
That
paperwork.
whole calendar to you?
Yeah.
Is
So
that what this
I'm
is
in,
about?
I'm in the system because I was a municipal attorney, and
Okay.
I've had prior time accrued,
Mhm.
and I have a whole system file, so this adds to my time.
I just want a standard workday.
Yeah,
If
I
you
don't-
could give me 1 second, let me just see, and then we'll ask you to amend it, and I'll add your name, but
David's name?
Well,
Because
Do
I
you
kept
recall
these
if he's in
calendars for-
retirement? I don't know.
He would have to apply, right?
shouldn't
You do have to
Steve be
apply.
added too if we're talking about this?
No,
You-
it's
but-
only for purposes of retirement.
I mean, Steve could join too if you wanted,
He could.
but you'd have to join.
Yes.
You'd have, and you
Yeah,
have to be on
so
the board
does
for about
David.
17 or 18 or 19 years to get 3 years worth of credit. Like,
Right.
it just
Yeah.
takes forever, because
Yeah,
we work
it's
little
a-
hours.
No, I do.
But
I
anyway,
mean, if he's
I
gonna
don't think
go
we
on-
can
But I
add them
don't-
here.
We didn't.
Did you ever get paperwork from them? I don't remember you
I don't know.
filling out
I just
the,
remember filling out all the calendars. I wasn't sure what that was for.
So I
but
don't,
then you still have to join.
Okay.
But let me
you'd
just
have
see
to
if-
join and then we would have
Remember,
to
we talked
add
about this when
the
I first came
workday.
on. You have to be a trustee for like the rest of your life.
It's a
Right.
low return, yes.
Yeah, like I said, for me,
Well, you
because
would
of
work
my
for the
history
village,
and my,
right,
and
work
I'm in
for
the
the
system
city.
already,
Right.
this just adds a little time.
Right, okay.
All right, so I don't think we should amend and revise
no,
that.
we could do
it at a
right?
later date,
Okay.
If you guys want to, you can talk to Nori later. and-
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so 86, who's that?
Wait,
Steve?
did we vote
I
on
thought this was
85?
gonna.
We did vote on
work
85, did we
hours.
not?
Do we vote on 85, Nori?
I don't think we
All
voted
in
on
favor?
85.
Aye, motion
Aye.
approved. 86,
86 is me.
We
Whose
were
was
doing
it?
so well.
That was me. Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following mayoral trustee assignments to various boards, commissions, and committees and village departments.
Before we read the list, does anybody want to swap anything?
I mean, we could swap later.
Okay, that's
Let's
fine.
just go ahead with this, and then we have Nicole among us, we can all.
Okay.
For the Pedestrian Safety Committee, the Recycling Committee, the Beautification Committee, the Sustainable Westchester Group, Climate Smart Task Force, and those 5 trustee Asquith. For Foodchester are the Farmers Market, the School District, the Conservation Advisory Board, and the Senior Citizens Senior Group, trustee Lord. PCTV, PHDFC, and Pichoto, Planning, Chamber of Commerce, Mayor Shear. Pleasantville Strong Fire Department, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, myself, and the Library Board, Chamber of Commerce, Zoning Board of Appeals, and Architectural Review Board, trustee Vinjamori.
Is there a second?
Second.
One change we should make, and it's my own doing, PCHDO, Pichoto, no longer exists. It has been, for a variety of reasons, folded into PHDFC, so that should be revised to read simply PHDFC.
And do we want to add PVAC? And if we do, I will take it.
Sure.
Move to amend
So-
the resolution to include those 2 changes.
Is that acceptable to the mover and the seconder?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. We have made our way through our organization night resolutions. Any further business? Comment of any kind? All right, a brisk April 1 meeting. Congratulations again to our longstanding village justice, John Curley. Delighted to have you back in the fold. And thanks and congratulations to Associate Justice Virginia Collins. Equally pleased to have such a strong duo in our Justice Court. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, we should have a motion to go into executive session.
Right.
Well, what work session?
Work
A
session.
work session, so we don't have to have a motion to go into work
No,
session. So.
we can just do it.
All right, thank you all, and good night.
Right.
Thank you, Mary, for coming.
Thanks, Mary.